Coming up tonight on the Cruise View, Martinique sounds its bells for the quantum of the seas. Plus, we're going to take a look at the Windjammer, the casual dining venue on board the Quantum. And we have a very special interview with Zack Stratford, the activities manager on board the Quantum, to find out just what it takes to keep all these guests entertained. It's all coming up, so let's set sail. Welcome to day 14 of the Cruise View sailing on board the Quantum of the Seas. It is the 6th day of the second sailing, and it is exactly the midpoint of the port days and pretty much the entire itinerary at this point. So today our location was Fort De France Martinique, and we got in at about 9 a.m. this morning. It was an earlier arrival, but not as early as tomorrow's will be. The Norwegian Pearl was already there. She got there about an hour before us, but it was a very nice arrival once again. We had a nice one yesterday as well. It was very hot and incredibly sunny, so the warmest arrival we've had up to this point for port. And the weather for today, it was a high of 82 degrees, so very hot, but unfortunately very humid, which made it a little sticky. And it was partly cloudy. There was, unfortunately, a passing shower in the afternoon, but it wasn't too bad at the time. We weren't even here, so it didn't actually affect us very much. But the winds were about 15 knots, forecast at least. I personally do not think they were that high. I didn't really notice too much wind while we were out and about today. But our sunrise this morning was at 6:16 a.m., and we had a beautiful sunset tonight at 5:34 p.m. And with such good weather, we did have an excursion scheduled today in Martinique. We took a bus ride over to the other side of the island to visit a beach, and it was an absolutely beautiful day. The rain showers never showed up there, at least not while we were there. It was actually timed perfect that we left sunny weather here, had sunny weather there, got back just as the rain was ending. So it was a great day in Martinique, for us at least. Not sure about some of the other excursions that may have been affected by that rain. But to go along with that nice day, we also had an incredible departure once again. The Norwegian Pearl left at about 5 p.m., about an hour before us. Really not much fanfare in that one. It was normal sail away. She was not docked near us, so that may have been why there wasn't much interaction, but it was pretty much just a departure and go. The Quantum, on the other hand, departed at 6 p.m. tonight, and just like we saw in Puerto Rico, the pier side area was loaded with people waiting to catch a glimpse of the ship sailing away. You can see all the flashes going on from one end of the coast to the other, just waiting for her to leave. And at 6 p.m. when it was time to leave, they then had all the church bells ringing, and they continued to ring for about 5 minutes until the Quantum did finally start to move away from her pier. It was a great send-off for her once again in Martinique, and hopefully we'll see the same in Barbados and St. Kitts. It's definitely a nice little added bonus whenever we've got these little festivities going on, the kind of thing that we were expecting on the inaugural sailing and did not see anything even close to. So it's great that we're now seeing it as we reach these Caribbean islands for the first time. And it's most likely related to the fact that it is the largest ship to call at the majority of these islands. We didn't see much in St. Martin, but they do get the Oasis class regularly, so it wasn't as big a deal to them. But going along with that departure, it is a full moon out tonight, which made for another beautiful sight with the full moon over the quantum of the seas and the full reflection in the water. It's just an incredible sight to sail away to. And for our compass today, we were in port and it was a beautiful day, which meant the compass really didn't need to have a whole lot. And even tonight, once we were back on board the ship, there really wasn't too much in the compass. It was a very empty day and actually kind of nice to have such a relaxing day for the middle of this 5-day stretch of ports. So pretty much the only thing in the compass, there was another showing of last night's headliner. And there were 2 showings of Star Water. I attended the second one tonight, the 4th time I've seen that show, which tells you just how good that show really is.
You looking at.
And at the same time as Star Water, they did have the one special event for today was Groovy Town, held once again in Music Hall from 10:30 p.m. to 11:45. I didn't attend it this time. I attended last cruise, and of course you can see the video of that. It really is not my style. I'm more the kind of person that sits up top and watches the show, and I think they've really adjusted it to appeal more to those people that were down on the Centrum floor, dancing, getting involved, to really make the entertaining portions just small little segments throughout the full club DJ experience. So I did not attend it tonight, but I hear it was the same thing as last time. So I'm sure there are a lot of people that it does appeal to, but I'm just not one of them. But it was not a big deal. I did attend Star Water, as I said, which I did enjoy, and overall it was a very enjoyable day, even without stuff in the compass. I really didn't need it. It was just a relaxing day overall. But moving on, continuing with that casual relaxing day, our daily dine for today is the premier casual dining venue on board the Quantum of the Seas, the Windjammer. Along with a rethinking of the main dining room on board the Quantum came a rethinking of the traditional Windjammer marketplace. Located at the aft end of Deck 14, it is now open 24 hours a day. To accommodate for this, a more flexible design has been introduced, allowing for areas to be open or closed as needed. Still offering 3 meals a day, at the entrance, a new bakery section offers freshly baked breads and cookies from breakfast through dinner, filling the entire venue with a sweet smell. The traditional buffet then follows with the island-style layout introduced with the Oasis class. This area opens daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, while being roped off during the other hours. While not breaking too much from the traditional offerings, they have chosen to upgrade the sandwich island by adding a crew member with multiple panini grills to offer hot sandwiches and made-to-order sandwiches similar to those in the 270 Cafe. The next section is a more traditional long wraparound buffet counter, very reminiscent of those found at the aft of a Voyager or Freedom class ship. This area is open 24 hours a day, offering time-specific items as well as hamburgers, hot dogs, salads, and a carving station throughout the night. During certain times of the day, this area also features special made-to-order items such as pasta dishes. In a rather hidden space, all the way to the back of the Windjammer, is then the final entree area, a large made-to-order counter service spot that offers items throughout the day such as omelets and fajitas. In addition to the main food areas, the Windjammer also has a sweets area located to either side of the main buffet counter. This area offers danishes and pastries for breakfast, as well as cakes and custards during lunch and dinner. Spread throughout the venue are 4 complimentary drink areas offering a selection of coffee, tea, and a variety of juice and flavored waters that varies by station and time of day. In addition, there are a pair of bars offering fresh squeezed premium juices, coffees, and alcoholic beverages. The Quantum's Windjammer features a large seating area that spans either side of the Windjammer, as well as all the way to the aft of the ship and around the back. In addition to a large number of tables, they are offered in a variety of sizes from just 2 people all the way up to large tables for groups of 8 or more. Taking a cue from the Radiance class, there is also a small outside deck area at the very aft end that offers seating with panoramic views for those warm Caribbean days. And of course, that is an upgraded Windjammer experience from the ones we've seen in the past. You can see some elements of the grandeur of the seas that they were doing on the port days, where they had special made-to-order stations pulled in. A lot of different tweaks and changes. It'll be interesting to see if they keep up that 24-hour dining schedule, because I know I go in there 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and there's rarely anybody in there, whereas Sereno's and Cafe Promenade are always packed. So I think unless they take advantage of Seaplex or something nearby the Windjammer, they're really not getting enough business, in my opinion, to leave it open. So personally, I would actually rather them close it, because I think it's a waste of their resources at this point. But we'll see if they either change the entertainment schedule to get more people in, or change the dining schedule to not have to leave all that food out there and all those people working around the clock, because it's really not benefiting anyone at the moment. But moving on from our dining then to our daily venue. Today we're going to start a new section of this passive sailing with Sea Connection. And today we've got 2 areas we're going to look at. We're going to take a look at the jogging track as well as the lifeboat deck. In a break from Royal Caribbean tradition, the Quantum has done away with the wrapped around promenade. In its place is a simplistic lifeboat deck. Starting at the forward atrium, the port side extends aft with windows overlooking the esplanade. Unlike a traditional promenade, the balconies are recessed, leaving the deck exposed and the balconies visible. The aft atrium offers another entrance and an area to look out at the ocean. Continuing towards the stern, the port side features an outdoor seating area for Jamie's Italian. At the end is an entrance to 270, which happens to be the venue that prevents the deck from continuing around. No entrance is located at the starboard aft, but a short distance away is an entrance just before the 270 cafe. Continuing forward is the smoker's shack, offering some protection from the elements. Just like the port side, the starboard side has some areas to view the ocean near the aft atrium. Continuing forward, the starboard side does not offer much to see beyond the lifeboats located directly on the deck rather than overhead. At the very front is an entrance to the forward atrium, and you can walk towards the bow, but there is no public access beyond that point. Where the Quantum does allow you to walk all the way around, though, is the running track, located up on deck 15. In a very rare move for Royal Caribbean, it wraps all the way around the entire ship, including the sports deck, rather than just the pool area. Passing along the seaplex, it is the primary means of accessing the aft of the ship, including the flowrider and the ripcord by iFly. At the very back, as it wraps around the flowrider, a series of cushioned chairs and tables can be found for relaxing or eating a snack from the windjammer, which can be accessed via the stairs located right there. The starboard aft area is the busiest section of the track, with a sports desk, rock wall, and a required detour to pass around Afar's giant foot. The track continues along the outdoor pool past North Star and the indoor pool. It then goes up a slight incline as it goes over the adult solarium on its way around the Vitality at Sea Spa and Fitness Center. It then goes back down a small incline and past the pool once more. As it does so, it weaves around glass partitions that block much of the wind blowing down the deck. So obviously those are two major changes to the way they've looked on past vessels such as the Freedom class and even the Oasis class, and it does affect the overall ability to watch arrivals and departures. All that glass and lifeboats in the way really limit you. You do have the bridge wings and some other areas, but there really isn't a good place to see a 270-degree view forward from the ship. But there is also the adult solarium, which is fully enclosed, and that's kind of the point of this vessel, be able to experience the outside when the weather is poor and you can't actually go outside. So you kind of have to give up some things in order to get other benefits from it, and it seems like that ability to see overboard and out to sea is one of the things that we've kind of had to sacrifice a little bit in order to get the better indoor spaces to view the ocean. now, as obviously things just changed a bit. In case the episode felt like it was going a little bit too quick, it was because I had just 2 batteries to use, and unfortunately throughout the day I exhausted both of them, and it seemed like it ran out right at the end of the episode. But we are not done yet, because I do have a very special interview with Zack Stratford, the activities manager on board the Quantum of the Seas.
Okay, the audience, what is it? Name that tune. It is Aquarius. Let the sun shine in. Sing it, people. If you know the words, clap and sing along. Watch it.
So today I am joined by Zack Stratford, the activities manager on board the Quantum of the Seas. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Spectacular. Ready for action.
Yeah.
Another day on the world's newest and most awesome cruise ship.
Alright. So let's get right into the questions. As the activities manager, you handle a variety of tasks on board, but most people often view you as the sidekick of the cruise director.
Yeah.
What are your actual responsibilities on board?
Yeah, well, correct. Originally, so some cruise lines still call it the assistant cruise director, whereas activities manager is something that Royal Caribbean adopted, because essentially you get the sports manager handling all the sports, activities manager myself doing all the activities, and then of course Adventure Ocean manager doing all the kids club, things like that. As part of the activities manager as well, though, of course assisting the cruise director with the daily cruise compass, planning and sort of navigating the way around the structure of the entertainment, the activities, all those kind of things as well, which is what I really do love about it, because besides facilitating the actual activities, a very, very big part of the entire voyage and planning the entertainment or planning the experience that a guest is going to enjoy is actually like putting it out on a grid and, you know, formulating a flow which Royal Caribbean has studied, and, you know, just satisfying. And it's all about happiness and creating the best flow of a cruise for the amount of days in a voyage, so that you basically start off nice and smooth, and then you kind of peak towards a culmination of it, and then you have your most amazing activities, and everyone's like wow, and then you kind of like bring them down a little bit for a little bit of relaxation again, and then you wow them again, you know. So it's very important to structure the flow and things like that. So I love that part. It's probably the best part. And then of course on the actual days as well, throughout the days, it's facilitating the actual activities. I create the schedule for the cruise staff, the amazing team. We actually have 10 on board, and then basically they facilitate all the activities with all the guests, from Zumba to game shows, activities, bingo, veterans gatherings, meet and mingles, everything like that as well. So we really get to interact with the guests one-on-one basis, you know, entertain them, but not just that, also get a lot of feedback from them and sort of see how the cruise vacation is going. Which is important, because we get to then obviously move forward. So even though you've structured and planned your voyage, you have an opportunity to actually day by day add enhancements to it and listen to the feedback from your guests, because these are your clients, you know, so you want to satisfy them. Essentially the goal is that at the end of the voyage, I want the guests to find my staff and find myself walking throughout the ship and be like, wow, thank you so much, I love this activity, or I love this staff member, or this game show let me discover something new about myself, or, you know, things like that. So it's that ta-da moment, that discovery, that, you know, then I know that my job's been well done. So
Right.
And then of course besides that, I also manage all the shows on board the ship in terms of the show inventory. I'm the show reservations manager. So of course with the actual show reservations concept, where the guests come on board, I manage the box office of the show reservations. We book the guests, manage the inventory, of course, making sure that all of those, what's called PCPs, pre-cruise planning, that's all booked online. And then of course once we start on board the ship, that inventory is managed well. For the capacity of the theatres, you know, like quieter shows, I'll increase the inventories, giving everybody an opportunity to get a reservation, so they have the confidence that they can actually see the show. From that then of course the actual day-to-day operation of that, you know, the actual doors experience, managing from when the first guest walks into the venue to the point where the show actually starts as well. Making sure that everyone is seated very, very well, that our disabled guests are taken care of, that everyone gets the best sight lines, you know, for their taste and for their sort of family and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot of one-on-one interaction, and like I say, it's a lot of on-hand sort of, you know, things change a lot and all that kind of stuff. That's the dynamic that I love so much about the job.
Yeah. So then, did you always want to be in the entertainment field?
Interestingly enough, no, actually. I studied interior design, actually. I got an interior architecture degree from South Africa. I always wanted to be a designer, always been into furniture design, houses, sort of structure, things like that, engineering. And then I actually qualified, and then I wanted to go move into England to go and pursue the career there, obviously with learning more technology for international markets. And in doing so, I had a friend who actually worked for Celebrity, and he told me about working on cruise ships and the enjoyment of it. So, and of course, I went and I worked on Disney Cruise Line. Actually, it was my first cruise line, and just fell in love with it. I had done a lot of entertainment in the past, and never thought I could actually make a career out of it. Because you have to be either a doctor or a lawyer or that kind of thing, which is it's the whole misconception. And yes, and of course, I've been from South Africa. There's not a lot of sort of marketing in entertainment positions. So obviously working on the ship, when I discovered the cruise staff, I was like, wow, this is a really cool job. So so I obviously switched over to that, and then that was amazing. So then I finished with Disney, and then moved to England to pursue this dream. And interestingly enough, discovered that it was I still love design. However, though, in England, because I had a South African visa, they couldn't hire me for the period of time that I could actually stay. Right. And things like that. They said I was overqualified for the job, but they couldn't hire me because I couldn't stay long enough, which was heartbreaking at first. But then, being on ships for about 2 years before that, though, you know how you discover something that's just meant to be. And if you had a dream in life, and then suddenly you discover something else, then I kept missing the cruise. Oddly enough, I kept missing having breakfast with people from different nationalities, and engaging with guests, and that fun and the dynamic of things changing all the time, because it keeps you fresh, it keeps you on your toes. And one thing that kind of does scare me is driving the same route to work every day. No offense to anybody out there, of course, but each to their own. So so it was an interesting career change, but it was a very good fitting one. So it's amazing how what's meant to be you will always kind of take charge of your life, which is great.
Right. So then you started with Disney. What made you switch to Royal Caribbean?
Well, honestly, I'll tell you a secret. That my first ship was the Disney Wonder, docked in Port Canaveral, and I'll never forget. At first, when I applied for the company, because it went through my friend through his agent. The agent obviously hired for, I think it was Disney, Carnival at those stages, because hiring agents they're far and few in South Africa. It's actually few at all. So through the actual agent, I just it's Disney, great company, it's perfect. But I'll never forget the day I arrived into Port Canaveral on the bus over that bridge, and I saw that, I was like, there's the Disney ship. But I could not be mistaken by the amazing Mariner of the Seas, which was docked right next to it. And at that stage, this is going back many, many years, actually 10 years ago, or 11, the Mariner had just come out, brand new ship, Royal Caribbean's brand new ship, world's largest at that stage as well. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, she is beautiful. and you know how they say you must always remain positive and, focus on what you have, and freedom from desire leads to inner peace. I was always raised to know. And, but I could not help but see that white ship right there with the amazing inline skating track at the back and this rock wall, and it was so white and big, and it was like the Starship Enterprise. Now, of course, Disney Wonder was pretty cool. Obviously, my first ship, going from South Africa, I mean, it was like a million times bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life. That was actually my first international trip as well. And it was cool. Disney was great. It's an interesting market. Also interesting ships because it's designed they're very, very tight with their concept design. So the Imagineers is the in-house company that designs their parks and their ships and everything, and they have a lot of money. So obviously, with a lot of money, you can build nice things naturally. Yeah. So it was great. It was a great experience. I loved the ship, and I learned a lot, especially from that. So, every Port Canaveral, I couldn't miss that Mariner of the Seas. So then, of course, as I said, I planned to work for Disney only for a short period of time. Save some money so I could actually pursue my career and my dream in England, because obviously with the pound, you need some good money there. And however, though, then I had no plan to actually, when I was going to be finished with Disney, I was finished with ships and I was going to pursue my design career. But then going back into England, when I stayed there, that's when I remember that ship, and I thought, well, I really want to go back to ships. I miss the ship life and I miss the career and that sort of entertainment that I was doing. And but I realized that if I'm going to go back, I want to go to a company that is more for the adult market, more for the family market, more variety. Even everything that I do in life, I prefer something that is broader spectrum. I don't like to sort of narrow myself down to, because the more options you have, the more entertainment you have in life. Obviously you got to keep your mind focused, but it's always great to be able to have options and have things. So if I was going to be in entertainment, I wanted to work for a company that offers options to my guests. And Royal Caribbean is without a doubt, because I have friends with other who work with other cruise lines as well, and we chat and we talk a lot about, hey, what you doing? So what you doing? And kind of borrow and trade some cool ideas and things like that. And I can tell you what, that we have Royal Caribbean. Not just saying that, but we have a really good spectrum from our nursery program to our adults and family activities to our sort of gear towards the more older groups as well. Everything. Royal Caribbean has a broad spectrum focus of entertainment. So it is, like, as we said, the ultimate vacation on earth. Our logos have changed quite a lot throughout time, but it's, delivered wow, all those kind of things. So it really is the ultimate vacation. It's everything. So, of course, being in England, I applied. I actually went to the Royal Caribbean website, applied right there, contact us. Just dropped a line saying, hey, I've worked for Disney Cruise Line X amount of years. Entertainment, I'd I'd love to please work with Royal Caribbean. Please tell me the hiring agent. And of course, I got a reply in a couple of days. I'll never forget, then I was set up for an interview. I was actually working at a tile, so I was working for a kitchen and bathroom design company, which was pretty good. Actually sold tiles to Madonna without even knowing that, through her gentleman that came in like a SL Mercedes-Benz Gullwing door one day. It was a great project as well. So of course, though, the actual agent, I had an interview, and I'll never forget, I had to walk all the way to Scotland Yard to get a police clearance, because obviously being from South Africa was a bit of a catch. But like they say, nothing comes easy. No good thing at the end comes with an easy challenge type of thing. So, but it was great because I decided Royal Caribbean, I'm gonna apply for it, and I'll never forget that while I was carrying this tile of cement, doing a project one day, like, because I was, besides selling the tiles, I was actually like working in the back shop as well, like physical labor. And I'll never forget, I actually had my telephone interview, which was supposed to be in the evening, but then they phoned me during the day. And so I didn't want to like miss the most important conversation of my life, but I didn't want to forfeit the job that I already had, And so I was literally on the phone, was doing my interview with like a bag of tile cement over my shoulder, carrying tiles and like sorting things out, which was awesome. And it's a range of questions like, what is the toughest crowd you've ever hosted for? What would you do in this situation? Because cruise ships is really all about thinking on the moment, and you have a set day, but things can change. Anything can change. The weather can change. We can skip a port. Things like that. So you deal with a lot of situations and things like that. So, which is actually, I won't say the best part because that sounds negative, but it's the part that I enjoy, and that's what makes you a good employee, is to be able to think on your toes and deliver the best product in adverse situations. So then of course, and then I joined Royal Caribbean. From the time when I actually emailed them to when I actually flew out the country was about a week and a half. It happened really quick, and that's how I kind of knew it was kind of almost meant to be. And then my first ship was the Rhapsody of the Seas, and it was awesome. And of course, like I said, the rest is history. I've been with the company now for it's about 8.5, almost 9 years, and it's been a great career. I love it.
So you obviously like the new ships. You've been on the Allure previously, and now how did you end up on the Quantum?
Well, it was actually an interview process with all the activities managers. Actually, all the employees on board the Quantum, they were given a sign-up sheet as such, and it was basically some questions about yourself, and of course questions about the position, the job. So it was an application process, and then from that it was shortlisted based on evaluations and sort of feedback from managers, and then it was an interview process, a telephonic interview process. I believe that it was myself and 5 other activities managers in the fleet. And obviously I think with my background, because I did the startup of the Allure, with my background in sort of startups, and I'm a hyperactive kid by nature, so I really like to do a lot at once but focus on details, and I'm very, very driven to start something and finish something. And who says that men can't multitask? Because I find that I'm pretty good at it, so I think it's perfect for this position. So obviously, I don't know, obviously I must have said the right things in the interview, because here I am. Yeah.
So rolling out a new ship always has its challenges. What challenges has the Quantum, being a completely new design for the company, resulted in for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, just like the logo says itself, Quantum Leap Forward, it is exactly that. I mean, just like when you buy a brand new car or when you move into a new house, you have to climatize yourself to the space, the environment. Obviously, with the Quantum concept, everything's new, so we try to go with a whole bunch of brand new activities, which we are doing. Like today, we're rolling out the Name That Tune pop-up. There's a great game show coming up. Many things. There's already a very strong product, and we're still even adding some more things like Ultimate Pool Party, a revitalized Club 20, and that's just entertainment. Of course, dynamic dining, that's all like the F&B section, all that kind of stuff. So, like I say, with every new ship, with every new concept, with Quantum, it's such a revolutionary concept. Obviously with technology and all those kind of things, there'd be some minor teething problems, one or two details. I mean, just like when you buy a brand new iPhone, you have to learn how to use it. You know, and then of course you find a menu and you're like, it's broken. Meanwhile, it's you that's broken because you're not choosing the right menu option. Because technology is pretty clever. Normally the users are the ones, in terms of the staff that use it. I'm not saying anything about the guests, of course. You know, so you just have to work your way through it. And once you get the hang of something, or once you find the way to use something, then it becomes almost second nature. And something that was hard to do, just like a person that's never driven a car before is so fearful and so scared about it. But the minute that you drive a car once or twice and you drive in traffic during rush hour, then you're like, I can take on the world. You know, and it's a whole different perspective. So it's all about perception. So yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, I've heard horror stories from other ships. So no, it's good. It's an amazing ship. You know, and the energy here is amazing. And Royal Caribbean has a great HR system with the crew, which is the most amazing thing. So there's a lot of support. So in that, you know, just like if you're building a house, like I said before, you know, there's going to be days where there's leaks naturally, you know, obviously not on a ship and nothing. So, you know, and it's raining or things like that. So, but what's the most important part is that mistakes or challenges will always happen in every single day life, is that you have a good support system and that you have the knowledge and the skills to not just fix it, to learn from it and to move into the future. You know, and develop and change it, things like that. So what's amazing is Royal Caribbean has a great support structure with that. You know, so we do training and things like that. So that's what's great about this place and great about the takeout.
So Royal Caribbean has a large fleet of ships. If you could be on any ship in the fleet except Quantum, which would it be?
Oh, except Quantum. It's going to sound very happy at the moment. Any ship in the fleet? Well, I'm going to say honestly the Allura. Because that was my last ship, and also the reason why is because the Quantum and the Allura are so different, which is what I like about it as well. They are so different. It's a merger between, of course, with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity being merged as big companies. Essentially, this is a combination of a Solstice class Celebrity and a Radiance class of the Royal Caribbean. However, the Allura, the 7 neighborhoods, the sheer size of it. Even the Oasis as well, the actual shows. I love the dynamic of the main theatre, the ice shows, and then of course the aqua theatre. Again, as I said before, it's all about broad spectrum entertainment. You know, like a zip line, there's the neighbourhoods, there's the carousel, the Central Park, you know, all those things. The Royal Promenade, it's gigantic with bells and whistles by the dozen. And also, even though it's the world's largest cruise ship of 6,400 guest capacity, you never feel the space. You never feel congested on that ship because it's so well designed. The flow is so amazing. And yeah, it's an amazing ship. However, the thing about the Allura is it's like a giant floating mall because it's so big. However, though, it's a very inward-facing ship and you rarely see the ocean. A lot of guests comment on that. However, though, it's amazing when it comes to activities and entertainment. You know, don't get me wrong on that one. However, what I love about the Quantum, and of course the new Quantum class, with Anthem and Innovation following soon, is that they are purely designed with a lot of good entertainment as well, but obviously we had to sacrifice things like the Aqua Theatre and things like that, but then we built the 270, which is just as spectacular. And of course Music Hall, which is essentially taking the space of Studio B, is that this ship, unlike the Allura and the Oasis, can go anywhere, can go into any weather climate. Now of course, because the one thing we as a cruise company cannot control is the sunshine or the rain. If we could, that would be the most amazing thing in the world. So the great thing about Quantum is obviously with its solarium, its indoor pool, which has a retractable roof, and then its outdoor section as well, Seaplex, which is all-weather sporting environment. I mean, you could even do iFly in the rain, you know, things like that. So it's designed to literally go everywhere on this globe, and Royal Caribbean is the world's largest most broad spectrum global cruise company at the moment. Did you know that? It's actually we cover more destinations on the globe than any other company, and we can go anywhere right now. So, and it's a very stable ship, so it can go through a very rough season. She handles very well. So again, broad spectrum entertainment and broad spectrum ports of call experiences for our guests. We now take people anywhere in the world to the most amazing places. So totally unique ships. But so yeah, I mean, actually all of our ships are amazing, actually, don't get me wrong, because we've revitalized all of them as well. Even the Rhapsody, she's been revitalized now with the Central Wow project, and we have amazing ships. And of course, when our ships get too old, we just sell them off to other companies, whoever wants them. I mean, yeah. And actually, I read an article the other day about our first ever ship that was sold through about 4 or 5 other companies. I think it was, well, it's not one of our first, the Song of Norway, which which was eventually sold for scrap. And it's the first ever Royal Caribbean ship that was Royal Caribbean once upon a time. That's actually the first one to actually now leave the earth or the ocean as such. And it was quite an interesting concept that they've actually held strong for so long. So it's pretty cool. And of course with the Ovation and the Oasis 3 coming out, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Very, very good ships indeed.
So then, where are you headed to in the future?
In the future, at the moment, well, obviously finishing the Quantum, and then I'll be scheduled to either take out the Anthem, or there could be possibly a project for the Quantum in Asia, or then possibly any of the other ships as well. It all depends. We have our schedules kind of made out. However, though, the best thing about being with the company is being ready to kind of travel wherever you need it. I've also done a lot of work in the actual head office, which is great on a temporary basis, which is amazing. Just popped in for 1 or 2 days to do some projects, and I love being part of the actual design and concept phase. So if anybody would sponsor me an American visa, I would love that. And I would love to, of course, work in the US for Royal Caribbean. That would be my ultimate dream, is to actually go from the cruise ships to the actual head office level, and to really sort of design experiences and sort of maintain standards and things like that for the entire fleet. That would be amazing. So yeah, I mean, dream big, they say. The future is ahead of you, so you can do whatever you want, which is great.
Right. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to tell anyone about?
Yeah, come and cruise on the Quantum. It's amazing. Come and cruise on any of the Royal Caribbean ships. It really is an amazing experience, with amazing sporting activities, entertainment. We'll keep you busy. Like we always say, basically a Royal Caribbean cruise vacation, you'll need a vacation to get over this vacation. We're going to keep you that busy. So come on down, have fun. And remember that you'll never see these people ever again on a cruise, so it's, sing karaoke, dance on tables, just make sure the table can hold you, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, come on down. It's an amazing ship, and it's an amazing experience. And, of course, if you want to work on ships as well, just you have to be over the age of 21, minimum 18 months experience. Just check it out, get in contact with an actual agent in your area, and it's a good life. It's a good way to save some money, meet a lot of people, and experience a lot of different things. So if you're very social and you love variety in life, it's a great place. It's a great thing to do, either for a gap year kind of concept or even for a career as well, which is amazing. I mean, there's even a lot of people that are married and they actually get scheduled together, so it really is a career thing. It's unlike everything you see about us just lying around on like the lifeboat and playing shuffleboard all day. So, but it is very, very busy as well, don't get me wrong. However, though, we, like they say, we work hard but we play hard as well, and it's a great life.
Right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
And once again, thank you to Zach. It's amazing how much more the activities manager is actually responsible for than anybody realizes on this ship, or any ship really. I think most of us, as I said, do just sort of view them as an assistant to the cruise director, and really there's so much more that they are responsible for and basically put on for the guests every sailing. So that basically does it for this episode of the Cruise View. Once again, I'm Picone, and be sure to tune in tomorrow, as we will be in Barbados, where we actually already are at this point while I'm filming. So I already can tell you it is a beautiful sight to see. So stay tuned for the links and come back tomorrow.